What would you do if the law turned against the ones you love? In the heart of a crumbling Chicago neighborhood, Aisha Carter clutched her daughter's hand as they hurried home under a bruised evening sky. The 6-year-old, Maya, hummed softly, unaware of the weight her mother carried. Aisha, a nurse who'd spent her life saving others, knew these streets weren't safe not for a black woman, not after dusk. Her husband, Marcus, a retired Navy SEAL, was due back from a training consult in 2 days. Until then, she kept her head down, her instincts sharp. The trouble came without warning. 2 squad cars screeched to a halt, their lights blinding. Officers Malone and Reed, known for their heavy hands in the community, stepped out. "ID now," Malone barked, his hand on his holster. Aisha's heart raced, but she complied, fumbling for her wallet. Maya whimpered, clinging to her leg. "What's this about?" Aisha asked, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her. Reed smirked. "Suspicious activity. You fit the description." The lie hung heavy in the air. Before Aisha could respond, Malone grabbed her arm, twisting it hard. She gasped, dropping her bag. Maya screamed, "Stay back." Aisha shouted to her daughter, but Reed shoved Aisha against the car, his knee pressing into her back. The metal bit into her cheek as she fought to stay calm. "You're resisting," he growled, though her body was limp with compliance. The cuffs clicked tight, cutting into her wrists. Maya's cries echoed, a sound that would haunt Aisha forever. But then, a new figure emerged from the shadows. Not Marcus, but Mrs. Jenkins, the elderly widow from across the street, her phone trembling in her hands as she recorded the scene. "I see you officers," she shouted, her voice cracking but fierce. "The whole world's gonna see this." Malone hesitated, his grip loosening for a split second. Aisha seized the moment, whispering to Maya, "Run to Mrs. Jenkins, baby. Now." Maya bolted, tears streaming, as the old woman pulled her close. The officer's rage turned uglier. Malone slammed Aisha to the ground, her shoulders screaming in pain. Reed drew his baton, his eyes glinting with malice. They didn't see the figure approaching from the alley's mouth, a man moving with the silent precision of a predator. Marcus Carter wasn't due home yet, but a gut feeling had brought him back early. Now, he watched his wife bleed, his daughter sob, and his world fracture. Marcus didn't shout or charge. He assessed, as he'd been trained. 2 armed men, one distracted by Mrs. Jenkins' phone, the other focused on Aisha. In 3 strides, he was on Reed, disarming him with a fluid twist of the wrist. The baton clattered to the pavement. Malone spun, reaching for his gun, but Marcus was faster, pinning him against the squad car with a forearm to the throat. "You touched my wife," Marcus said, his voice low, lethal. "Big mistake." The standoff froze time. Aisha struggled to her feet, her eyes meeting Marcus's. In them, she saw not just rage but fear for her, for Maya, for what this world was doing to them. Mrs. Jenkins kept filming, her voice now a steady chant. "You can't hide this. You can't." Neighbors began to gather, their phones joining hers, a silent army of witnesses. Marcus didn't strike the officers, though every muscle screamed too. Instead, he held them, his strength a quiet promise of retribution. "Uncuff her," he ordered. Reed, disarmed and shaken, complied, his hands trembling. Aisha rubbed her wrists, pulling Maya into her arms as the girl ran back. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, a tide of anger and hope. Sirens wailed in the distance, back up for the officers, no doubt. But Marcus didn't flinch. He knew the system was broken, that justice was a gamble. Yet he also knew the power of those phone lights, the courage of an old woman, the love that bound his family. "This isn't over," he told the officers, releasing them as the crowd closed in, protective and unyielding. Aisha and Marcus walked home with Maya between them, their hands clasped tight. Mrs. Jenkins' video would go viral by morning, sparking protests and investigations. The officers would face consequences, though not enough. But in that moment, it was enough that they were together, unbroken. The fight for justice would continue, as it always had. Aisha would heal, Maya would grow, and Marcus would stand guard, his precision not just military but human, rooted in love. Yindi.